What's up, world? What's up, world? How y'all doing? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. What that is right there? Yes, it is. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, 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 welcome. Today is Friday. Friday. All right, I ain't doing that no more. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? See a couple people that just jumped in here. We'll wait for some folks to jump in. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right. Doing a live on this Friday evening. How y'all doing? Usually I do my TikTok lives. Usually I jump in and I do my lives. I don't know. Around 7, but I thought I had a coaching today, but I guess I was wrong. I should probably start looking at my calendar more often. That way we can make these things happen, but So, I'm trying to think like, hey, so if you're just now joining, I only see that's one person up in here, so I appreciate you being in here. If it's your first time in here, my name is Kevin. I'm a nurse. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're going to be talking about the new generation NCLEX, as well as just nursing in general. So, we're going to talk about that. If you guys know anybody, or if you need help yourself, or if you need coaching in regards to the NCLEX, I don't care if you've taken it multiple times, if you've taken it, if it's your first time taking it, or if you're a nursing student about to graduate school, check out thebootnurse.com. I do a free 30-minute consultation, as well as, I jump up on these lives and I'm on Instagram and stuff like that. So make sure you guys follow me everywhere. Everywhere is at the Boot Nurse, and get that coaching while it's free, baby. Get it while it's free. Because all the coaching is going to essentially be diverted to here. I'll be answering questions, anything else that you guys got. Well, all the free coaching will be going this way, but it'll be jumping somewhere else. So I see I got a couple people up in here. So, hey, y'all let me know where y'all are from. Let me know I don't need to know who you are. I see your names that are on here, but let me know where you're from, where you at in your nursing journey, what y'all want to talk about, what questions you guys have. We can talk about whatever. So make sure you guys follow me on the social medias. So of course you're already here on TikTok. So follow me on Instagram, on YouTube, of course, Facebook, Twitter. If anybody really uses Twitter, I know a lot of people like to be over on Twitter. So everything is at the Boot Nurse. And yeah, like I said, today we're going to be talking about the new generation NCLEX and anything else that you guys want to talk about. I've been a nurse for almost 3 years. I've been an educator for almost 8. Actually, I've been an educator for 8. I'm what the military calls a master instructor. I have that certification. So I've been teaching for a little bit, and I enjoy teaching. I enjoy coaching and mentoring. Pretty much anybody that wants to allow me to teach and mentor them. So I specifically like to do the NCLEX. The NCLEX is my niche, or my area that I love to do, is because I was one of those dudes who didn't make it. I didn't make it the first time. I didn't make it the second time. I didn't make it the third time. So I passed my NCLEX on my 4th attempt. And it was definitely a learning experience from the first time that I took the NCLEX to the last time that I took the NCLEX to now, where I'm sitting here chit-chatting with y'all, letting y'all know that it's okay if you don't pass it the first time, TikTok has busted muted videos except for lives. I don't know what that means. Or is my video muted? Can you not hear me? Oh, can you not hear me? Here, let me see if I can see. What about now? Can you hear me? Check. Mic 1 2. Check. Well, somebody just shared my stuff, so I guess it's pretty cool. The lives are the lives are working, but I'm guessing the videos are muted. I'm over here sounding like a speak and spell. Videos have been muted. Why? Why have videos been muted, Julian? Tell me why. So if you guys are just joining, my name is Kevin. I'm a nurse and NCLEX coach. We're going to talk about the new generation NCLEX, and then essentially whatever you guys want to talk about with nursing stuff. Been a nurse for almost 3 years. Been an instructor / educator since 2015. If you guys know of anybody that need NCLEX coaching, or if you need NCLEX coaching, I don't care if it's your first time, multiple attempts, or if you're a student about to graduate, if you need help coaching, check out thebootnurse.com, okay? TikTok. Hey, you're right. Hey, I don't know, man. Like, it's like the government or whomever just don't, they just don't want you to TikTok. They don't want you to, hey, they don't want you to be great on TikTok. So I don't know why. I don't know. I just live here or live here. Talk to y'all. That's what I'm about. So please give tips. I have to take in next month. Who was that? Kitty Bird. What tips do you want? So we can talk about a couple of things. So the biggest thing about the NCLEX that the NCLEX does not, so content-wise, meaning all of the meat and potatoes and all the material that you learn, like mechanical ventilations, arterial blood gases, your cranial nerves, all that stuff doesn't change. And if the content does change, it changes in very, very small, increments, like 5-10%. The biggest thing about the NCLEX right now is that it's changing the way that it's delivered to you. I say this in multiple lives, Kitty. If you're first time coming here, I say it in multiple lives all the time, is that the content is not going to change, just the way that it's delivered. So a biggest thing that they're adding are the case studies. And with the case studies, they give you a paragraph. They give you a paragraph of essentially giving you the broad picture of what a patient looks like when they come into your ER, or you see them in the ICU or on the floor or wherever. And then they give you all the material that you would need to make a clinical judgment. So, your labs, their vital signs, their sample history, their signs and symptoms that they currently are displaying. And then they ask you off to the side a multitude of questions. And those questions could be asked in the following. They could be multiple choice. They could be select all that apply. They could be click and drag in regards to what order that you do something. It could be fill in the blank, which that fill in the blank will consist of a drop down menu, and you get to pick from 3 different sections or 3 different answers. I'm sorry. Select all the applies they're still there, but they're now considered a partial credit. So let me elaborate on the partial credit. Let's just say they give you, for a select all apply question, they give you 6 potential answers. If you pick, and for every answer that you pick, you get a point. I'm sorry, for every answer that you pick that is correct, you get a point. But let's just say it was 5 it was 6 that you got to choose from, but 4 of them were correct, but you picked 1 over. So you got 4 points. But now once you pick an incorrect point or an incorrect answer, it takes a point away. So you get 3 points. Does that make sense? So that's how that algorithm is broken down in regards to the select all that apply. Multiple choice questions are still going to be there. Your select all apply, of course, are still going to be there. Hi, Hannah. How are you? What else? Your click and drags are still going to be the same. The biggest thing that's being changed and delivered is the way that the content is being delivered, which is by a case study. So my suggestion, if you haven't already, which I know a lot of schools have been implementing for a while anyway, is case studies, reading case studies, because nursing is changing and has changed over the last couple of years to where, especially with COVID, is that now it's allowing it wants nurses to think critically and to make safe decisions and safe choices on how to, deliver nursing care. Okay. Somebody gave me a rose earlier. Hold on. Who gave me a rose? Julian, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the rose. I don't really get these. So when I see them, I'm just like, hey, I appreciate you. Jody, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. I don't know how the roses go. I think that they give you money, so, I mean, if I get money, I get money. I appreciate you. So I appreciate you being here. Kitty, I really hope that answers your question. So here's another couple of tips that I'm going to tell you in regards to when you take your test. First thing I'm going to tell you is do not be afraid if you get more than 75 questions. Even though you're going to take it in about a month or so or whatever that you said, you need to be taking your exam to the max. So prepare to sit for the entire 5 hours and prepare to get 145 questions, because your instructors are in the school telling you, you want 75 questions, you want 75 questions. So what happens when you get question 76? Tell me that. You're going to get 76 and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not doing so well. Or you're going to get to question like 120 and you're going to be like, well, I'm obviously failing. Well, if you're failing, the test wouldn't let you keep going. You only get the max. More than 85, that's the minimum now. Well, no, the minimum is still 70. The minimum is still 75 questions for RN. So that hasn't changed. The minimum is still 75. Because I was just looking at that like a couple of days ago. But even if that's the case, it's you always want to prepare for the max. You always want to prepare for the max, like you're going to go all the way, like you're going to sit all the way, you're going to sit all 5 hours and you're going to get 145 questions, period. Doesn't matter what exam. I don't care if you were taking like an EMT exam. I don't care if you were sitting for MCAT. I don't care what you're sitting for. You always want to go for the max. Okay. So that notion where these instructors are putting in your head for you to be like, you want to study as hard as you can so you can get 75 questions. But then your instructor isn't there when you're at question 85 or you're at question 90. And then now you're all nervous and now you're doubting yourself, all that stuff. Don't go in there thinking and expecting to get 75 questions or getting the minimum. Prepare like you're going to go the entire distance, just like boxing or like Creed. Prepare to go all 12 rounds and then, go out swinging. What else? Oh, when you take your exam, if you guys don't know, you guys get a white sheet, like a laminate sheet that you guys get to write on. So you guys get to data dump. So the moment that you guys get that, whatever little ditties that you remember or whatever little things that you remember, write them down. So like, your cranial nerves, write them down. Your lab values, which, sorry, you have to memorize them. Everybody has to know what those are. That's probably one of the very few things that you have to memorize. The biggest thing about the NCLEX is making yourself familiar about what is being put in front of you. And the NCLEX wants you to critically think. Everybody that's in here that is a nurse or that is a nursing student should be able to tell me what a normal blood pressure it looks like, what the cutoff for if somebody's looking like they're going hypotensive and the cutoff if they're going hypertensive. So you should be like 140 over 90, 90 over 60, for hypotension and stuff like that. So everybody here should know what that is. If you start getting questions that look like that when you're on the NCLEX, that should be a light bulb should go off in your head and be like, man, that's a really easy question. Why are they giving me easy questions? You don't want the NCLEX to give you super easy questions because that's telling you that you're not meeting the threshold of what they consider passing. Critically based questions and critical thinking questions are the ones that you want to have. The ones that I call like that spiderweb effect. It starts off in the middle and then it could go like, oh, well, I have a 65-year-old patient who has a history of congestive heart failure. They're complaining of, having difficulty breathing. You hear crackles in their lungs upon assessment. They have peripheral edema, blah, 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 blah. What's the first thing that the nurse should do? Stuff like that. Or you as the nurse, what is the best thing to do for them? That's the stuff that they want to see. That's the stuff that they want to hear. Those are the questions that you want to get. The harder the question, the higher the likelihood that you are on the right track and that you're going to pass that exam. So I really hope that answers your question. Somebody just asked me another question about something. I'm going to scroll back up. What did it say? I'm starting nursing school to become an RN next month. Any advice? First thing, who is this? It says, all hail her nails. All hail your nails. Okay. Acrylic boo. Let me stop. But so first thing I'll say to you is that, be prepared to lose all the friends that you had. All the people that you considered your friends, because you're about to go on a journey to becoming a nurse. And so you're about to acquire a new level or a new group of friends, because the friends that you have now, 9 times out of 10, probably won't be your friends after you graduate nursing school. And I like to speak things into existence. I speak things into existence because I feel like whatever I put out into the universe will get back to me. And nursing school is very hard. And the thing about nursing school is that it's an endurance race. You're not going to have time to go out there and hang out with your friends and hey, let's go have drinks. You're not going to have time to do all this because you've got to study. You're not going to have time to go out there and listen to everybody else's problems. They're not going to be walking the same line as you are. Be prepared for depression, sleepless nights, and a lot of coffee. I'm glad you said that, Jody, because I didn't start drinking coffee until I was in nursing school. And now I got old man eyes, raccoon looking eyes. Okay. And now I just drink coffee. Like, I drink coffee. Like, it's sad. It's sad. It's terrible, right? No, it's not so bad. But Yeah, be prepared for that. But drink tons of water. Drink tons of water. However, the one thing I will say, and being very serious, is get a small group. Be in a small group. Energy drinks, yes, but do not chill out on those energy drinks, or you're going to end up in the ER with kidney stones, and then you're going to be like, I don't know what happened. So be prepared for that. But get in a small group of people. And by a small group, I mean, to include you, it should be no more than 4. So you and 3 other people, okay? And be smart. People in nursing school are so scared and so timid that they're going to get in trouble for cheating. But you're taking the exams alone. They didn't say anything about you not being able to prepare together. So something that we did, and I say we, it's me and the 3 girls that I was in nursing school with. When it came to assignments, or if it came to even just taking notes, like we split it up, and it was the same assignment. You know, we would be like, hey, I'm going to, like, if it was like a 20-page assignment or whatever, I would do 5, she would do 5, so on and so forth. So that way, at the end of the week or whenever it was, we compared notes. And so when we compared notes, it just made it that much easier on you, because a lot of people feel like when you're in nursing school that it's an individual thing. But being a nurse is not an individual thing. It is a team effort. It is a team sport. Not one person can do it. Like, if there's a code that happens in the hospital, you're not by yourself. You're going to call a code, and then people are going to flood this room. You may be the one ultimately responsible for whatever's going on, but if you need the help, you know, the help will flood to you. So it's just like, why not prepare yourself, you know, for what the world's going to, or for what your nursing world is going to be like? You know, why not do that? So that's the one thing I would say is to have small groups. Because the smaller the group, the more connection that you guys can have, the less that you guys will talk about in regards to, hey, girl, let me tell you what I did this weekend. Like, bro, don't nobody care about what you did this weekend. Number one, I was there and you was with me and we were studying. So stop playing. So, so just think about that. All right. That's a one big thing that I would say. I kind of found that out a little bit later. And like I said, I was in school. Out of 130 people that graduated in my cohort, there were probably, out of 130 people, there were like 11 or 14 guys. Do that math. So I'm surrounded with nothing but women. So, but it makes sense when the nursing field is like 85 to 89% female dominant. I got it. Understandable. So, small groups. That's one of the big things that I would tell you. But yeah, small groups. So I really hope that answers your question. If you got any other questions, please drop them down in the comment section. If you are just joining, my name is Kevin. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX, or just anything about nursing in general. I want to know who you are, where you're from, where you are at in your nursing journey. If you need coaching in regards to the NCLEX, I don't care if you're a nursing student about to graduate. I don't care if you have taken the exam multiple times, or if it's your first time taking it. Check me out at thebootnurse.com right up here. And then also make sure you guys follow me on those social media platforms. So Instagram, of course, already TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything is at The Boot Nurse. So I hope to see everybody there. You did. Thank you so much for the advice. You're very, very welcome. Hey, lovely. How are you? Thanks for jumping into the live. If you guys don't know, my lives that I do, because everybody's always asking, like, hey, when do you do lives? I normally started doing them Mondays and Fridays. Mostly it's because obviously I have a job and I have other things going on, and I have a family. Last week was my son's birthday party and his birthday, and I had family here, so couldn't really just jump on the live and not be here. Or I'm sorry, I couldn't just jump on the live and just not, be able to do, fatherly duties. So that's why I tell everybody, hey, make sure you guys hit that notification button. Once you guys hit that notification button, you guys know when I'm jumping on here. You already know what I'm about. You already know what we're going to be talking about. If you guys haven't, I want you guys to go over there and check out my video, or one of the clips I put on there on why I quit the ICU. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been a nurse for 3 years. And within those 3 years, I worked a year in the ICU. I kind of jumped around. I worked in PACU, or the recovery room, as well as I work in the operating room. And I've done some pre-admission stuff for the operating room, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I've been coaching nurses specifically for almost 3 years, like right after I got my license. as well as I've been an educator since 2015. So I've been teaching for a while. I love teaching. I actually am going to school for my master's in nursing education because education truly is the way to shape our profession in the way that we're going. Okay, so you guys always remember that. Hey, if you guys ain't smashing that like button, make sure you guys smash that like button. I want to see nothing but hearts on this side of the screen right here. Oh, we're already at 1,000 likes. Hey, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hey, so some other things that are coming up. I want to give you guys a couple of updates of what I have going on. Is I'm going to start doing webinars. I'll still be doing my Instagram lives, but my webinars will consist of me going over important things that you guys need to know for NCLEX. So one of the very first lessons that I'm going to be talking about is going to be, delegation on NCLEX. Who can do what? If you're the RN, what can you delegate, right? If you're the LPN, what can you accept from the RN? What can you reinforce that the RN has done? If you have a patient that's stable and they become unstable, what do you do? Like what procedures can you do? If you're the UAP or the CNA or the MA or CNA, of course, nursing assistant, MA medical assistant, UAP is an unlicensed assistive personnel. Those are what you will see on your exams. Those are what you will see when you take the NCLEX. So what can you do? What can they do? If I'm the LPN, and I need to know what everybody does. I need to know what they do, the RN, and I also need to know what the UAP does because I'm kind of in the middle. But the one thing I will tell you is that the RN can do everything that the LPN can do and that the CNA, the UAP can do. But remember, but going up, they can't do that, right? So it's just like, an LPN can't do education, can't teach, but they can reinforce what the RN teaches. Same thing with the UAP. UAP can't give meds unless it's like ointment or, or something like that, right? Or they can do vital signs, right? So they can't do the first set of vital signs because that's for the RN to do an assessment. It's just stuff like that. And those are the type of classes that we're going to be going over. And so make sure you guys are following me on TikTok, on Instagram, especially on Instagram, because I'm dropping the links and all that stuff. And mostly they're going to be done on a Sunday. And they'll be live. So, we got PowerPoint set up. I'm also working on a mini course right now. I call it Back to the Basics. And Back to the Basics is going to give you a really solid foundation on how to prepare for the NCLEX. And it doesn't matter if the NCLEX, it's going to be straight up how you prepare for the new generation NCLEX, and even 10 years from now, if the NCLEX changes, it's still going to be a solid ground. Still going to be a solid ground for you guys. And then of course, you can always contact me on anything because I'm always here. So that's why I love being right here talking to you guys, because if you guys have any questions, I surely would love to answer them. Hi, accelerated nursing student from Phoenix, graduating in December. How should I start preparing now? Preparing for what? For NCLEX? Is that K Danny Litch? Is it Danny Litch? Danny Litch? K Danny Litch. Hopefully I did not destroy your name. So I'm assuming you're asking how you should prepare for your NCLEX, right? I'm just going to call you Danny. Danny, is that right? Let me know if I'm right, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Biggest thing about the NCLEX that's changing is that, like I said, it wants you guys to think critically. I like the new generation NCLEX questions. They have been my saving grace on tests. All the info is there. That is correct. So that's another thing that I love is all the guessing is gone. So a lot of times when you're sitting there and you're reading a multiple choice question and you're just like, but what if they had this? What if they have that? So the very first thing I want to tell you is it doesn't matter what test you're taking. Never do that. Never do a what if. What if they have, they have congestive heart failure and they have, peripheral edema. But then you're sitting there and you're just like, yeah, but what if they also have, pink frothy sputum? They didn't say that. They didn't say that in the question. So don't put that in there, because once you put something like that in the question, it could change your answer. So only answer what they have given you. Don't ever put anything extra, and never take anything out that is given to you. So I love that. And that's one thing I do love about it as well, because they give you your labs, they give you your sample history, they give you your signs and symptoms, they give you your vital signs, all that stuff, all in a scenario, because I need to know, like, hey, what if I give it all to you, what safe decision can you make? Right? What safe decision can you make as a nurse? Because that is what the NCLEX is about, is can you be a safe nurse? And let me tell you, everybody that thinks that you're hot shit when you guys are in school, I'm telling you right now, the NCLEX is based off of safety, right? It's a safety thing, and it's at the bare minimum. It is graded on a 0 to 100 scale. You need a 50, at least a 50 or above in order for you to pass your NCLEX, in order for you to get your license. At what other time, in what other school or institution does a 50 count as a pass? Nowhere. So this is just the beginning. You're climbing a mountain to get to the top. And once you're at the top, you see more mountains that are a million times higher. All right. So it is a steady increase when it comes to climbing the nursing mountain. I've had a few nurses that have come into my life before, 48 years of nursing, 35 years of nursing. And I like to look to them and I'm just like, do y'all agree with me? Because they're essentially, they're the ones that have been doing it for a long time. So I asked them and they're just like, absolutely. Like, the NCLEX is just the beginning. All right. And then hindsight's going to be 2020. You're going to be like, man, I can't even believe I sweat that NCLEX like that. So think about that. I see you guys are dropping a couple of questions. Let's see. I like the news. Yep. We talked about that. I have failed the NCLEX twice. What are some major topics we focus more on? Okay. So who is this? Jessica. So Jessica, one thing I'm going to tell you is if you failed your NCLEX twice, you need to look at your breakdowns, right? The one thing I don't do is I don't coddle people, because I never got coddled. I just got told that I wasn't doing something right and I need to figure it out. So the guidance that was given to me is the first thing you need to look at your breakdown. Put them side by side. Now, if your first one, if everything was below, and your second one, it says like near passing and a couple of above with like maybe one below, that shows that you have some type of progression, right? So there's a positive in that. There's progression, right? Not everybody's going to be meant to pass it on the first time, even though people do pass it on the first time. You're not alone. I failed my NCLEX 3 times. Three, okay? No job will ever care. No job will ever care if you failed your NCLEX. No job will ever ask you, hey, Jessica, heard you failed your NCLEX 3 times. We can't hire you. Stop playing with me, okay? They don't ever ask you that. So the one thing I'm going to tell you right now is that you need to focus on looking at your breakdown and see where you need to improve. The NCLEX is made up of 8 big categories. Management of care, which is 17 to 23%. And then you have pharmacology, and then you have physiological adaptation. Those 3 make up 44 to 49% of that entire exam. Management of care, which is by far one of the most, they're all important, but the most important, as in, hey, how do I delegate? Like, do I delegate an unstable patient to an LPN? No. You have a patient, you're the nurse coming in to get report from an offgoing nurse. What patient should you see first? What is the best thing to do for this patient that has, asthma or if they're COPD or something along those lines, right? That is management of care in a nutshell. And you want to know the thing that's even crazier? I'm going to show you right now. This is how transparent I am. You see these 3 right here? Look at these 3. 1, 2, 3. I failed my NCLEX 3 times. And right there, I usually put them up. But right there, it'll tell you, like right here for management of care. And it tells you providing and directing nursing care that enhances the care delivery setting to protect clients and healthcare. Then it even tells you the related content. So advanced directives, advocacy, assignments, delegation and supervision, case management, client rights, collaboration with an interdisciplinary team, such as X-ray or lab or psych or case management or anything like that. That's the stuff that people provide, right? And that's what your breakdown will tell you what section. So if you're below the standard, way below the standard, that's probably the very first spot you would want to go to. Mine, I can tell you right now, pharmacology. It was terrible. So when I started studying and I passed on my last time, I started with pharmacology first. And now I actually love pharmacology. I love it. I love it. And now that I'm going for my master's, you have to do advanced pharmacology and advanced and advanced pathophysiology and all that other stuff. So I enjoy it. All right. Don't be scared of this. Don't be scared of this. This is the way to audit yourself. This is the way to see, hey, where did I go wrong and where can I improve? That's all life is it's a consistent failures and then improve upon those so you don't make those mistakes again. Okay. So that's where I would say start first. Hope that answers your question. Who's Abu Dadi? You're reading the question so bad. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and in order for you to kind of get over that, you have to practice. You have to practice over and over and over and over and over to not read into the question. Read exactly what they're asking you. Don't put any more in there because it'll change the answers. And don't try to take anything out because it'll essentially change your answer. So don't do that. Okay. Who is it? M Gut. Some of my questions have even had the normal ranges along with the labs provided. I don't know if NCLEX will be the same. So that's another thing that they'll throw at you. And one thing I like to tell people is like, hey, sometimes sometimes it's that easy because we focus so much on the things that they're going to throw at us that is incorrect. But a lot of times they'll put stuff in there and they'll just be like, oh no, like that's correct. Like they're not trying to trick you, but the thought process is there to where it's like, oh, hey, everything that's going to be wrong with this patient, nothing's going to be right. But then they give you everything that's right with that patient. The only thing you need to do is just document and monitor. Sometimes it's that easy. And then normal ranges are there. So if I got normal ranges, but you have a patient that's still complaining about something, then maybe it becomes more of a focused assessment on what they're complaining about. Like, think about their mechanism of injury, like how they get there. They have all their vital signs check out. All vital signs check out. Labs are good and everything, but they're complaining about having an excruciating headache. The worst headache that they've ever felt. So now I'm focusing on the head. They were in a motor vehicle accident. We didn't do a CT scan yet. Maybe we should take them to CT. And then you take them to CT and find out they have a subdural hematoma somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Those are the things. Like sometimes it's normal, sometimes it's not. Okay. Prayers for everyone taking the NGN. Hey, shout out. Who is that? Rich Black Beauty. So that's one thing I'll tell you about the NCLEX. All the NCLEX is an exam. That's all it is. That's all it is. Prepare for it because it's inevitable if you want to be an RN or an LPN. Period. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. Your instructors in school, that's all they do is that they put all this fear in you about failing that exam. Let me tell you something right now. I want you guys to answer this question right now. What is the worst thing that could happen to you if you failed this exam? What is the worst thing that would happen to you if you failed your NCLEX? Tell me in the comments right now. I'm going to scroll through because I know a bunch of y'all are asking questions. What do you think of the Saunders book? The Saunders book is good as a reference. Like if I'm doing questions and answers on the computer and I don't know, and if I want to go find it as a reference, Saunders book is good. So I think it's okay. And that's another thing that I'll start to tell people about as well, is that when you take your NCLEX, here's another question I'm going to ask you. So I do want to know, what is the worst thing that's going to happen to you if you failed your NCLEX? I'm talking about the worst thing in life. What is the worst thing in your life that could happen if you failed your NCLEX? And then the second thing is your NCLEX taken on the computer or is it taken on paper? Thank you so much for your answers. You're welcome, Jessica. How did you study for pharmacology? Was that Lovely that asked me that question? So Lovely, the way that I studied for pharmacology, I had Kaplan. And so the first thing I went to is while I was doing my Q&A, anytime I was doing content, I started with pharmacology. So I started with the pharmacology section and all the videos that they had. FYI, I'm creating my own pharmacology videos as well. Everything is coming in phases, so everything will be there. But I started with pharmacology and I just looked through the content or the content videos and I just took notes. And so after every test, my pharmacology improved drastically. And then I also looked at YouTube videos for pharmacology. So PharmD was a good one. Khan Academy for pharmacology was a great one. Simple Nursing's pharmacology, especially his cardiac meds, loved it. Like, I don't shit on people's reviews. I don't recommend them if I don't like them. But Simple Nursing, Nurse Mike stuff, Gucci. So I have to repeat it. Who is that? Evelyn? You have to repeat it? Okay, cool. You have to repeat it. So if you have to repeat it, grab your breakdown, see where you didn't do well at, and improve upon it. I like UWorld to study mine. It was pretty spot on to my NCLEX. Who is that? Is that Kels Rod? I'm guessing that means like Kelsey Rodriguez 0903. You're welcome, Lovely. So, a lot of people. So if you have a great understanding of content, and if you really, really like don't need to look at like if you understand pretty much everything that's going on in regards to, you know, the content. So like we were talking about ABGs and we were talking about like your medications and all other good stuff. If you like UWorld, because UWorld provides questions and rationales, then yay, I'm not never one to tell you not to do that. But for most people, you know, not for most people, but for a lot of people, you know, it's good to have those content videos as another reference to kind of back up what you're looking for when it comes to studying. So I used UWorld a couple times. I didn't like it because all it gave me was Q&A. And I got it based off of a reference. Like a couple of my friends were like, hey, all you need is UWorld. But, you know, they didn't understand the dynamics I was having in regards to like remembering content. So I used it thinking I was okay. Didn't do well. Use it again. I used UWorld like 3 times. So, or for my first 3 attempts. On my last attempt, I didn't use it at all. So, it didn't really work for me, but I still tell people, hey, if that's all you need is a question bank with rationales, you know, UWorld, hey, that's the way to go. So, no, I answer your question. What's the worst thing that can happen? I've been there, done that. I'm retired. Oh, shout out to you for retiring. The worst thing that could ever happen to you is happening to repeat taking the exam. Nah, I got you. So, I think you're the only person to have actually answered my question. Oh, excuse me, but I think you're the only person to really have answered it, but that's okay. Because this is what I try to tell people, and this is in all actual reality, is that the worst thing that could ever happen to you is death. Because you ain't here no more. Especially if you're a young individual, which the majority of people that are going through nursing school demographically are between the ages of 21 and 25. So the worst thing that could ever happen to you is the fact that, you know, you not wake up the next day. I think that not passing the NCLEX on the first attempt may not be so bad. It may not be as bad as you think it is. But what I'm saying is that if you fail your NCLEX, listen to me. Go to your breakdown, because everybody gets one when you fail. If you pass, you don't get a breakdown. You get a license. You see what I'm saying? Sammy, you failed 4 times? Look, you see this right here? Go get all 4 of those pieces of paper. All of them. And I want you to look at every one of them. And I want you to see from the beginning to the end if you've made an improvement. If you don't have an improvement, what does that tell me about you? If your first exam are, we'll say, all below passing, and then your next exam are all below passing, and then your next exam is all below passing, what does that tell me? That you need to improvement. And you said, I made improvement. Okay, so think about it like this. So you made an improvement off of your exam. It's inevitable at this point that you're going to pass. It's inevitable. So keep improving upon where you're not doing so well at. And don't let the new generation NCLEX intimidate you. Don't do it. Like all things in life, you have to adapt and overcome or you will get left behind. Okay? I'm going to answer your question here in a second, Evelyn. But hey, if you're just joining me, because I had a ton of people that just jumped in here. My name is Kevin. I'm a nurse. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX. We're talking about failure. We're talking about nursing stuff in general. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, drop them down in the comments. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know where you guys are in your nursing journey. If you or anybody else needs help with NCLEX, such as if you've taken the exam multiple times, if you've taken it for the first time, or if you're a nursing student still in school getting ready to take your NCLEX, check out thebootnurse.com. I do a free 30-minute consultation in regards to coaching. And, you know, we talk about all kinds of different stuff, where you are, and then we keep it pushing to see if you need coaching. Better get that while it's there. Get the 30-minute consultation while it's there, because it is going away. Do I know when? No, but I'm telling you right now, it's going away. I have a couple of testimonies that are on my page as well, so you guys can check those out. I had one girl who had failed 7 times. She had failed 7 times, and then I helped her. Because taking the NCLEX is not just about taking a test. It's about your overall you of what you have going on. And she passed on her 7th attempt. I had another girl who passed on her 2nd attempt. Another girl who failed 4 times, passed on her 5th attempt. Like, It's doable. It is 100% doable, okay? And do not be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. Make sure you guys follow me on social media as well. TikTok, of course, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Oh, YouTube, Facebook. Everything is at The Boot Nurse. I'm super active on Instagram. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, you guys can chit chat with me over there. Yeah. So I love to see everybody that's in here. Now I'm going to go back to these questions real quick. I'm very excited about the NGN. Sammy, you're excited? You're probably one of the few people that said that you are excited about it. Tell me why you're excited. I've taken it twice. Soon to be nurse. Well, soon to be nurse. If you've taken it 2 times, we need to figure out why. So you got to go back to the drawing board, right? You got to go back to the drawing board. What do you think for those that have gone halfway and figured, damn, this is not for me? What is your advice? Evelyn, I'm assuming that you meant got halfway through nursing school, or do you mean halfway like through their career and they're just like, no, I'm done? I'm assuming you mean nursing school. Is that what you mean? I wish you were around 47 years ago. I appreciate that. A little background about me for everybody that's jumped in here. I've been in the Navy for 15 years. I've had 2 deployments. I've had leadership roles. So essentially me becoming a nurse is my second career. I'm also in the reserves right now. I have a leadership role in the reserves. I'm in charge of about 50 people. So I've been an instructor for the last 8 years of my naval career. I taught at a surgical technology program. I taught in different programs that the military has, tactical combat casualty care, pre-hospital life support, advanced burn. I am now an instructor for the trauma nursing core course, and we had a bunch of other ones that we've done. So I have most definitely done a bunch of teaching in my last 8 years, and I love it 100%, which is another reason why I said I'm going to spec school to get my master's in education, because this is what I love in order to shape our field, because nursing has been hit hard the last couple of years. And I feel like, if I can get through to one person and have to invoke some change, for the better, hey, I am here for it. I wouldn't have been back. I wouldn't have been there 47 years ago. But I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad we're here now. Who is that? Loving 0407. What do you do in those 30 minutes? So, the first thing before you guys do the free coaching, I have a intake form. So essentially you answer tons of questions, before we even get into that 30 minutes. And within those 30 minutes, probably within the first 10 of you talking, I already can kind of figure out what you need to do for yourself. So I essentially just give you advice on what you need to do. And at the end of that, I ask you if you are interested in the coaching. And at the end of that, it's up to you whether or not you want to pay for that service. I don't twist your arm. I don't do anything like that. The one thing I say is that, hey, does this constitute an emergency for you? And do you want your license? Because I have mine. And it's not to be rude. It's just to be completely honest. So that's what the 30 minutes consist of. Now, Evelyn, to answer your question in regards to how do I feel, or what is my thought for people to get halfway through nursing school and be like, damn, it's not for me. Go to where you're happy. If it's not for you, don't be there. Don't feel like you have to be there. Don't feel like you have to be forced to be there. Nobody's forcing you to become a nurse. Nobody is forcing you to go to school. No one is forcing you to do anything. You, on your own accord, are joining, a career field that is at the beginning very arduous and then at times very, very difficult. I worked in ICU. I worked in 3 different ICUs: a burn unit, a burn ICU, a medical ICU, and a neuro ICU. And it was during the second wave of COVID, and I saw on average 4 to 5 people die a day. It gets you tremendously. Not to even include the bureaucracies and the politics that happen inside of a hospital or just in medicine in general. So, I was in my second semester of nursing school, and there was a lady who quit. She quit nursing, and I said it out loud. I was like, why would you quit? Like, when it was so hard for you to get in here. But I was talking about my experience because it was hard for me to get there. For her, she was just like, you know what? I just don't. She didn't like the environment of how nursing was. And at times I can agree with her, to where she was just like, you know what? I'm in my 40s. I don't need this nonsense, for these people talking to me like this. I don't need this. I don't need that. So she's like, I'm just going to go back to, doing real estate and doing Airbnbs with my husband. Hey, if that makes you happy, go do that. And I was all for it. And that's no sarcasm. And that's no shade at her. That's legit. That was somebody who had already been on 2 deployments. So I was like, hey, go to where your heart tells you to go. Especially if it's positive, because don't nobody need all that stress, right? Stress is, I'm telling you right now, stress will put y'all in an early grave. If there's one thing that y'all don't get from this live right now, stress will put you in an early grave. So, Evelyn, I really hope I answered that question for you. Sammy, I've seen case study examples, and I enjoy the questions associated with the case studies. Exactly. The case studies they give you everything that you need. Like I said, they give you your signs and symptoms, your sample history, your vital signs, your lab, so you can see trends. Like, it gives you everything. Like, essentially, the case studies take all the guessing out. You just need to know, you have to apply it critically. And so if you haven't been applying your critical thinking while you're in school, you may be in a bit of trouble when it comes to that. Archer or UWorld? It depends, Stacy, to answer your question for Archer or UWorld, it just depends. Are you a person that only needs a Q bank? Or are you a person that needs a Q bank that encompasses content videos and then other things? Me personally, for Kevin, I would choose Archer over UWorld. But UWorld does have a statistics where it shows that it helps people pass. And a lot of times what people want to do is people cheap out. And I say cheap out because I used Kaplan. I paid like $400 for that. But Kaplan gave me everything under the sun that I would ever need. And so it's not about buying something. It's about investing. Like, you do the research and invest on things before you decide to put your money in it. So why not invest in a review that will be extremely helpful for you? So UWorld or Archer? Me, personally, for Kevin, I would choose Archer, but I've used UWorld, so it depends on you and what you want. Who is this? Is it Leela94? Oh, what you thinking is harder, old or new? Hindsight's 2020. It's not really that hard for me. Excuse me, but I think they both have. I would say the old one, because just to select all that apply in itself, like for you either get them all right or you get the whole thing right or the whole thing wrong. For the fact of the new generation NCLEX where it's partial credit, that is already better. I use UWorld, but it was different. I don't know. My friends use Archer and they failed it. And so here's another thing I want to address about these reviews, is that these reviews are as good as you make them. There's people that have used Kaplan and they're like, Kaplan is trash and I failed it. Maybe Kaplan just wasn't right for you. There's everybody that I know use UWorld. They swear by UWorld, but UWorld didn't work for me. Right? There are people that I know who have used Hearst, like a friend of mine, like Manasa. She used Hearst and UWorld. She used Hearst for the content and UWorld for the questions, and she passed. Same thing with another girl, Candace, that I helped. She used Hearst and she used UWorld and she passed. So maybe it's a combination of things. It just depends on how you view that review. And I'm telling you right now, these reviews have been out here, like Kaplan, been out there since like the 70s or 80s. Hearst has been out here for a long time. UWorld, quite a bit. Archer, probably one of the new ones on the block. Simple Nursing, probably about 8 years. You still got Level Up RN. That's another one. You got a bunch of them that are out there. A bunch of them. What's your best NCLEX examination study guide? Sharon, what do you mean exactly? Like study guide, or do you mean like NCLEX review that you should invest in? Evelyn, I want to find a part-time job because my age, I don't have a chance. I'm going to teach, home attendance. You are very inspiring. Thank you for your platform. Evelyn, I appreciate you being here. For the fact that you have, all this experience within nursing, that's wonderful. Today, there are urgent cares where you can work, no experience of nursing required. It's very different. You want to know why it's very different? It's because of the population growth and the demand for nurses. And urgent cares are popping up like pill mills, like pop-up pharmacies. Like they're all over the place. They're popping up like gas stations. And the reason being is because population growth and people moving and people migrating from different states, migrating like they don't live here. But, they're moving from different states and they're moving to different areas. And the population growth is it's crazy. So it's kind of hard to keep up with the demand. There's always been a nursing shortage. Always. And now with the fact that COVID happened, the nursing shortage was just even worse. And so the times have changed. Like, I know back in the day that I would have never been able to go to the ICU, like right out of school. They would have sent you straight to the floor. Now, do I think going straight to the floor is bad? No. But I already knew me, and I didn't want to go straight to the floor. I wanted to go straight to the ICU, even though the ICU is considered the floor. I wanted that advanced training, like right off the bat. Like, I wanted to be, tossed into the fire, but I wanted people to be there with me to guide me through the fire, not to just leave me in the fire, turn around and be like, hey, bro, you got it? No, that's not how that works. I didn't like that at all. So you're right. It is very, very different. But those are the times that we live in. And to be completely honest, we have to learn. We have to learn some way, shape, or form. And, sorry if you guys hear my son. He's by the door. And he's crying. And I ain't bringing him in here because then he's going to cry and he's going to be a turd. So y'all let me know if y'all want me to bring him in here. Let me see, Sammy. So Sammy, here, let me see something. Did you ask me? Somebody asked me a question about something. I've seen case studies. Okay. No, that was Sharon that had asked that. So she was just like, I was thinking Archer. So Stacy, if you think Archer, like I said, Archer will give you videos and Archer will give you questions. I've looked at Archer's videos. I looked at their questions. I think they're okay. I don't think that they're terrible at all. I mean, they have the stats. They have they have it to where, it shows where you need improvement on, they have all that stuff in there. So Archer wouldn't be a bad one to go, but it all just depends on you. What about Saunders question bank? I think Saunders question banks is okay, but I haven't used Saunders since I was first studying for NCLEX, which was back in 2018. I haven't looked at anything Saunders related since then. And if it's the questions that if you log on from the back of the book, I think it doesn't come with a disc, but it comes with like a code that you can put in on their website and you'll get like a bunch of NCLEX style questions. When I used it, I didn't like the way they were written. And it became more of a memorization game than a actual like read and try to refrain or try to retain the content. It just didn't really work for me. I'm a new nursing student and I want to start studying for the NCLEX. What's the best investment? Okay. So the best investment that I liked, personally was Kaplan, because the one thing I'll tell you at the beginning of your nursing school is that you're going to learn nursing fundamentals. If you don't have the basic fundamentals, then if you don't have the basic fundamentals of what you're looking at, it's going to be very, very hard for you to understand NCLEX style questions, especially now with the NCLEX changing. So I loved Kaplan. I love Kaplan. A lot of people where Kaplan was forced upon them and integrated into their school, they didn't really like it. But Kaplan is great. I like their questions for the most part. And I also like the content videos that they provided. They do live videos like every day. Every day. I think today it was like osteoporosis or burns or something like that. And those are really, really huge, not only to learn for NCLEX, but then also to learn while you're in school. So I like Kaplan. Mark Klimick is great. I love his stuff too. His audios are a bit outdated, but for the most part, it's still about 90 to 95% accurate. But then, of course, he has a review as well. I do know for a fact that with people that use Mark Klimick, they went to his, people would go to his review, like right at the beginning of nursing school. And then they would go like every semester. And if I remember correctly, people, like if you go to his review for the first time, and if you want to go again, all you have to do is show your receipt. So once you show your receipt, you can get back into the class for like $25. So essentially you could pay $350 like up front or $400 or how much it is now. And then if you want to go every semester as like to get a refresher, it's like $25 after that. All you have to do is present your receipt. I think he still does it, and I think they still honor that. But if you do want to know that, I would definitely check out his website. So for me, I will always tell people that Mark Klimick and Kaplan is what made me an RN. However, it took me applying the information that was there and that they provided in order for me to get to that next level. So there's that. I know I've been sitting here talking about X, Y, and Z. For the people that just joined, my name is Kevin. I'm a nurse. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX as well as just anything nursing related. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if you guys, yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. Let me know where you guys are from, where you guys are in your nursing journey. Are you a brand new nurse? Are you a nursing student? Have you been a nurse for, a couple of decades or even a couple of years? Like we love all the information that you guys drop in here because it does nothing but create a positive community of brand new nurses going out there, right? The one thing that I hate is that term where nurses eat their young. I don't like it. You're not going to talk to me like you're crazy. And it's not a good, conducive learning environment to teach people like that, because then all you do, it's like a generational curse. One will tell you, oh, well, that's how I was taught. Okay, just because you were taught like that doesn't mean it was the correct way to be teaching, right? So I don't do the nurses eat your young thing. I nip that shit in the butt, and you're not going to talk to me like that, and you damn sure ain't going to talk to nobody like that in front of me. Now, if somebody's in the wrong, that's totally different. But if somebody's there trying to learn, which we are all doing daily, nobody should ever talk to you like that. So one of my biggest things is to change that thought process of the nurses eat their young, because I could be real aggressive and I could be real confrontational, especially when you start talking to me like I'm a child. I'm not your child. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your husband. And just like y'all ain't nobody's child. I mean, you are somebody's child, but you're not their child. So they ain't gonna talk to you like that. All right. So anybody that needs NCLEX coaching, I don't care if you've taken the exam multiple times, if you're going to take it for the first time, or if you're a nursing student getting ready for it, if you need help coaching with the NCLEX, check out thebootnurse.com. I do a 30-minute consultation, a free consultation. Get it there while it's free, because it is going away. Don't know when, but one day that button's just going to disappear, and it'll be there. And so follow me on all those social media platforms. Everything is at The Boot Nurse. So, of course, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all those good spots. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. What do you think about REMAR? I graduate from LVN program next month. Regina and REMAR, I can tell you right now, I didn't use it. I didn't use REMAR's program. However, I did have her QuickBook and I had her DVD because a friend of mine let me use it. And I looked at it. The one thing that I remember about her program is that, let's say you're going through the content and they're asking you questions or you're doing a test. If you don't get the answer correct, it will not let you continue. So if you're doing content and she's going over something and you get the answer wrong, it won't let you continue. That's one thing I don't like. That's one thing that I don't like, because if you are going through the exam, or if you're going through something and you're getting it wrong, if you're getting it wrong, at some point you're going to be like, why am I getting this wrong? And then you're going to just not care. You're just not going to care about what's going to be happening next. And you're like, I just want to get the right answer so I can proceed through the program, right? It's been a while. I don't know if they've changed that. But like I said, there are REMAR nurses that are out there that will swear by Regina's program. I personally did not use it when I was studying for NCLEX, because as I was going through it, it just didn't work for me. I was just like, it didn't work for me. Like, it's not everybody's cup of tea, just like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Like as I'm creating my review and I start doing my stuff, people are going to be like, yo, I don't like this dude's voice. I don't like his face. He's ugly. His lips are too big. He has a shiny ass forehead. Like, whatever. There's going to be something that you don't like. Like, for example, Hearst. Aunt Marlene. Anybody up in there that's used Hearst, right? Great content, but Lord of mercy, that Southern Mississippi accent, your boy can't do. There's only so much I can do, and that ain't it. Because now, her voice now is becoming a distraction to me. She could be the sweetest lady in the world. And, maybe one day I'll meet her, because, like, people that make NCLEX reviews are like, people that I look up to. And, I'll tell her, I couldn't use your review because, like, your accent is just too thick and it's a distraction. So, REMAR, I don't say I recommend it, but I don't not recommend it, because, it all just depends on you and if that's the right thing for you. One thing I would say is follow her on her social medias, as well as especially on Facebook and YouTube, because she drops free content all the time. So I would definitely look more into that one. What about repeat test takers? Any advice for the NGN? Is it Nian? I'm just going to call you 707 because Or is it Nia 707? Okay, Nia, check this out. Let me tell you. If you're a repeat test taker and you're going to be taking the NGN, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you're going to get the same breakdown. The only thing that's changing is the way that the questions are being delivered, not the content themselves. Okay. So what you're going to do, the one thing I'll tell you for the advice is to go back onto your breakdown. Because here's my breakdowns of me failing my NCLEX right here, right? 1, 2, and 3. Go back where you got your belows and especially your belows. Go there and look at them and let's see where you didn't do well at. And then get back to the drawing board and start studying. But when you start studying, number one, on the computer, because no NCLEX exam is done on paper. Hasn't for like 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years, I don't know. And get back to the drawing board and invest in a review that will provide you the new generation NCLEX style questions. And I can tell you right now, damn near all the reviews do. All of them do it. All of them. Okay. So that would be my advice to you, is to audit yourself to see where you didn't do well. And then when you get back to studying, the spots where you got like below, those should be the ones that you start with first. All right. I hope that answers your question. Tips for retest. Black Beauty. I hope you heard what I just said. Oh my God, I agree with the Hearst lady's voice. I'm trying to tell you now. I ordered the QuickBooks because she implemented NGN in it. I've also browsed through Kaplan. Okay. Who is that? Lakeisha Day. Okay, Lakeisha, I hear you. You're welcome. Nia. So tips for retest. So Black Beauty Bree. You've been in here before. I could have swore we've talked about this. But for tips for a retest is that the exact same thing I just said. Look at your breakdown. And when you look at your breakdown, see where you didn't do well and then improve upon it from there. So if you know that you didn't do well, I'm looking at mine. So mine will be reduction. Like on the third exam, the only one I got below in was reduction in risk potential. Everything else was near. So the section that I would go to would be, it's like vital signs and diagnostic tests and laboratory values, potential for alterations in body systems, complication of diagnostic values, or diagnostic test treatments and procedures, complications of surgical procedures, like just stuff like that, right? So you got to look where you were below. And then when you create your own study schedule and your own study plan, the very first things that need to be at the top of the list are the ones that you didn't do well, and then improve upon it. Another thing is that you need to be doing at least 75 questions. You need to be doing at least a minimum of 75 questions. Why? Because your exam is a minimum of 75 questions. Minimum 75. Max 145. So 75 to 150 questions. It's not going to hurt you to do 5 more. Okay? Prepare like you're going to take the exam at 150 questions and you're going to sit there for the whole 5 hours. I wish y'all knew what it was like to take an exam at 265. I took my second exam. I had 265 questions. Now I want y'all to tell me something. Now I want y'all to tell me how hard it is. I don't disregard your feelings. I'm just letting y'all know that 265 questions was a monster. It was a beast, and I did not like it at all. Okay, so it was hard. But yeah, her name is Marlene Hurst, Bree, and she is from Mississippi, y'all, and she has a thick accent, Southern Belle type, and she's probably a really sweet lady. But man, oh man, that is a distraction of a voice. Let me tell you. Lakeisha, also, when you're talking about browsing through Kaplan, if you guys are ever interested in Kaplan, because I use Kaplan, go on my YouTube channel. First of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel and stop playing games with me. And then go onto my YouTube channel and then look at the video, the Kaplan NCLEX review. I did a 14-minute review on it, and I essentially walked you through what was inside of my review and all the things they gave you. It was great. It was great. I loved it. That's probably like one of my most viewed videos. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my God, reducing risk has been my weakest at ATI. What exactly? Exactly. So the reduction in risk, like like I said, like if you go down to the reduction in risk, it literally says it right here. It says related content includes, but not limited to. So you literally could have it to where it's it breaks it down to the sections that you need to be looking. Therapeutic procedures, right? What's the another one? Potential for complications for surgical procedures and health alterations. So like, I mean, if I had a patient that I was doing a tonsillectomy on, and then they woke up and then they had increased swallowing. Now, what does that tell me? They have a bleeding issue, right? Or they're hemorrhaging in the back of their throat, and now they have an airway issue. But with anything that's going on ENT wise, ear, nose, and throat, if you're taking out tonsils, airway is the number one thing that I'm thinking of. So, it's just stuff like that. So let me see something. We're gonna go to the So, here's another thing too, is that if you guys ever want to know anything about the NCLEX, go to the ncsbn.org website, right? NCSBN, the National Council of State Boards of Nursing.org. That's what it is. They're the ones that write the exam. So you should never ever have not saying not ever have a problem, but you most definitely will know. You'll most definitely know because they provide everything that you'll ever need. So they have a Q&A, they have all that stuff. Who is this asking me? Nia, what about your review? Ma'am, my review is coming. Like I got a notebook that's right here that has only thing I got to do right now is just edit my videos. And then once I edit up my videos, they're all going to be done in sections. My first one is going to be a mini course. My mini course is going to be called Back to the Basics. And Back to the Basics is going to include the basics of the things that you need to know about the NCLEX. So how it's graded, test taking strategies, delegation, like your foundations of taking this exam, right? How to create a study plan for yourself, how to, not only create a study plan, how to create a study calendar, and you base the calendar based off of you and your life. I'm not there with you all the time, right? I'm not there. So I have to essentially make a video and I have to reiterate all the time, like, hey, these things are adjustable. But Nia, trust me when I tell you, my content videos for my NCLEX review are coming. They're coming. And then to follow will be NCLEX style questions. I'm working right now on getting those as well. And they will be new generation NCLEX because now I don't even know why we call it new generation NCLEX, is because now it's the standard. It's the standard NCLEX. It may be a new generation NCLEX, but now it is the standard. And every nurse, RN, and LPN will take it. Okay? So, I hope that answers your question. Hey, but if you're just now joining me, my name is Kevin. I'm a nurse NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX, or the standard of the NCLEX now. We're also talking about nursing. If you need coaching for the NCLEX, I don't care if you've taken it multiple times, once, or if you're a nursing student that's getting ready to take it, or if you're a nursing student that just got into nursing school and you want mentorship through nursing, check out thebootnurse.com. You get a free 30-minute consultation, and then, we kind of see where you are. And then after that, it's your determination on whether or not you want coaching or not. So sitting there talking about NCLEX, another thing I want y'all to do is smash that like button. Hey, look, we're at 2,000. We're at 20, or what is that, 1.2K likes. Hey, let's get it up to 2. Let's get it up to 2K. Stop playing games with me. I got 17 of y'all up in here. I want y'all to let me know where y'all are from, what questions you guys have. Share this video to anybody that you think that might need to hear it, or if anybody just want to come up here and have a conversation. We can come up here. We can talk about anything y'all want. We were talking about Selena Gomez earlier. That don't got nothing to do with nursing, but I'm telling y'all right now, don't y'all come for Selena Gomez. All right, don't y'all ever in your life do that, ever. You hear me? Ever. I will check out your YouTube. Thank you for this content, Lakeisha. You're very welcome. Like I said, I will do this content. My lives are not going to go away. And another reason is I want you guys to follow me on YouTube and especially Instagram and on Facebook and all those other ones, is because we have no idea what's going to happen with TikTok. We have no idea if the government wants to shut TikTok down. So I still want to be able to do these lives, but if I do the lives on Instagram, or I'll do the lives on YouTube, I'll do them wherever. And as of right now, I'm doing the lives Monday and Friday. Monday and Friday around 7 o'clock. And I'll usually do the lives for about a good 2 hours. I could sit on here and talk to y'all for 4 hours, but I'm pretty sure y'all would get tired of hearing me. So, I sit up here for 2 hours and I just like to talk to y'all, let y'all know what's going on in the nursing world, to not be afraid, to be a mentor, to be a coach, to motivate, to let y'all know what's going on. Like, do not let the nursing field intimidate you, especially if you're not there yet. Okay. Everybody will find their groove and everybody will find a pace, and you will find an area that you love in nursing. And once you get there, you're going to be all right. And don't let people intimidate you for the fact that if you go to work at a clinic and they work in the ICU. Okay. And cool. Have fun. Or don't let them intimidate you if they're just like, oh, I work here and you work there. Okay. And what you mean? Like, don't nobody care? Get out of my face with that nonsense, right? Everybody, like, not everybody is everybody's cup of tea. Not every aspect of nursing is not every nurse's cup of tea. All right. Just remember that. Okay. Let me see what we got going on in here. You guys chit-chatting it up. New York. Jay, baby, you from New York? Hey, my grandma from New York. Oh, Nia, you're from Florida? Hey, hashtag not a fake nurse. I'm just saying. We don't get fake nurses up in here. All right. We all nurses around here. Jay, baby, you from New York? What part of New York you from? My grandma's from New York. She's from Harlem. I'm from PA and I need help. NCLEX, are a repeat test taker. Okay. Is it Loretta? Loretta. I don't know why I just said your name 3 times. Loretta. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is, okay, you failed your NCLEX. So next thing I'm going to say to you is, did you audit yourself? And by audit, did you go over your breakdown? Did you see, well, first off, did you take your 24 hours to cry and pout about it? Because we all do. We all pout about it. We're all sad. But then on hour 25, we better not be pouting and crying about it, because pouting and crying ain't going to get you to pass. Right? So did you audit yourself? Did you go over your breakdown? I didn't see your name pop up in here earlier, but did you go over your breakdown? Did you see where you didn't do well? And where you didn't do well, you need to start and you need to improve upon where you didn't do well. Implement a schedule. And I'm going to talk about a schedule here in a second. I just want to catch up on you guys' questions. So put yourself on a schedule. Create a tracker for yourself. All that good jazz. And audit your time. That's probably one of the most important things. Time management. Audit your time. Audit your time. Was that J Baby? P and repeat test taker here. Okay. Same thing. That same thing that I just said to Loretta. Loretta, if I'm saying your name right, please let me know if I'm saying it right. I feel like I'm butchering it. So that's that same thing applies to you, Jay, baby. Did you look at your breakdown? So y'all coming in here telling me that y'all are repeat test takers. So I love to help people. I love to coach people. I have a special place in my heart for people that are repeat test takers that want to still pursue nursing. I'm telling y'all right now, like there's something about people that just cannot quit and still want to do something that they have been wanting to do for a long time, that holds a special place in my heart. Okay. So that's what I'm going to tell you right now is you're a repeat test taker. No one's going to ever care how many times you're taking your exam. The only people that's going to know are the people that are in here right now, whoever you've told me. And then I'm going to look at you and I'm going to be like, hey, if I ever met you in the streets, you'd be like, hey, Kevin, I took the NCLEX 4 times and your videos helped. And now I'm a nurse. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Where you work at? Oh, I work here. And I'm going to dap you up. Or I'm going to be like, hey, good for you. Like, I'm proud of you. If nobody's ever told you that, I'm proud of you because you didn't give up. I can tell you didn't give up. All I do is read books now, and that's all they talk about is how they failed, where they didn't do well, how they improved upon, and then turned that failure into nothing but success. Nothing but success. And that's all I want. That's all I want is to turn whatever failure you feel like you have into a success for yourself. Okay? So, Jay Baby and Loretta, that's what y'all need to do. Okay? Do you think new grads should start from med-surg? No, I don't. The world is different now. The world is very different. I never wanted to go to med-surg. Ever. I never wanted to go there. Granted, going to med-surg is not a bad thing because going to med-surg or going to the floor is the basis of nursing. Hands down. It is the basis of nursing. You work on your time management. You work on your pharmacology. You work on your wound care. You work on your IV starting. You work on your fluid management, even though it's a little bit, you work on your assessment, which is super important. Airway, all that, going to the floor is important, but I knew that I didn't want to go there. I knew that I wanted to go to the ICU because at that point in time, I wanted to go flight and I wanted to go to CRNA school. And the fastest way for me to get there was to not go to the floor and work there for 3 years and then go to the ICU and then work there for 3 years to get to CRNA school. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go straight there. So my thought process is go to where your heart wants you to go. But then there's some places that you can't get there until you have a basis of nursing experience. So a lot of girls I know, they want to go do aesthetics and they want to do, Botox and lip injections. Obviously, I do not have that problem. Some other people do. So it's kind of funny because I got made fun of like my entire childhood for having big lips. And all the people that made fun of me for having big lips, mostly are girls, all got lip injections. What's that tell y'all? Hashtag blessed. Hey, stop playing with me. Hey, 2,000 likes. Make it happen right now. So, so to answer your question, Hannah, go where you want. Or I tell them to go where they want. Whatever makes them happy. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I feel discouraged, but I will not give up. Yeah, you better not give up. You better not give up. Because then you're like, at that point, you're going to be like you're always going to regret it. The hardest part about nursing, I kid you not, is getting into nursing school. And getting through nursing school because it took you so long. Some people will be like, hey, I want to be a nurse. And it took them like a year or two for them to get into nursing school. And then after that, it takes them another year, depending on another year to 2 years to 3 years. It depends on how long your nursing program is. It can take you years to get through your program. It took you 5 years to get through nursing school or to get into and then through nursing school. And you're going to let a 2-hour test determine whether you're going to let a 2-hour test determine if you're worthy or not? Come on now. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Because I'm keeping it all the way real. Think about all the money. But more importantly, think about the time. Think about that time. That 5 years you're never going to get back. If it costs you 50 grand to go to that school, we'll say 100 grand. It costs you 100 grand to go to that school. That's cool. I can go out here. And I can sell some coaching, every day and I can get that 50 grand back. But that 5 years that you told me you were dedicated to going through nursing school so you can get through here, you ain't getting that back. So why would you let the fact of you not passing an exam stop you from going back to the drawing board to figure out how to pass an exam? Stop playing with me. Don't let it discourage you. Let it be the fuel to the fire. Remember the pain and let it activate you. Stop playing with me. Hey, 2,000 likes. Let's make it happen. Hey, if you're just now joining my live, my name is Kevin. I'm a nurse. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX, repeat test takers, taking a test for the first time, all that good jazz. That's what we're talking about. We talk about nursing and stuff like that. We also talked about Selena Gomez. Don't you ever in your life come for her. I love her. Don't y'all? Hey, somebody go tell her that right now. I love Selena Gomez. Anyways, don't judge me. Anyways, so anybody that needs coaching or anything like that, make sure you guys go over to checkoutthebootnurse.com. I do free coaching over there, 30 minutes. We talk about where you are and what you need to do for yourself and then determine at the end whether or not you need coaching. And make sure you guys follow me on all those social media platforms. Social media platforms being, of course, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, especially Instagram. Facebook, Twitter, all those good jazzes. We have no idea what's going to happen with TikTok, and I'm super active on Instagram, so I need for y'all to go over there and follow me because that's where you guys will start to see all the other information that'll pop up. These lives are not going to go away, but that free coaching on my website is going to go away. So don't forget that. All right, dang, you said a mouthful. Hey, I'm just letting you know. If I'm wrong, hey, Bree, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm just saying, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. So I want to know where you guys are from. I had a couple people jump up in here. Y'all let me know where you guys are from, what questions you guys have, where you are at in your nursing journey. Are you a brand new nurse? Are you trying to get into nursing school? I want to know how. Are you in nursing school? Did you graduate? How many times you take your NCLEX? Are you about to take it? Are you a new nursing student? Are you a nursing student about to graduate? Like, let me know where y'all are at. 2,000 likes, yo. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm just saying on Monday, I had 10,000 likes because apparently I guess they liked me. So I'm just saying. But hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Oh, so here's one thing that I'll say. Another tip is put yourself on a schedule. This is for everybody that's in here. Put yourself on a schedule because we are all allotted the same 24 hours in a day. However you decide to use your time is up to you. And I do really mean that. Bree, I go live every Monday and every Friday at around 7 to 7:30. It was a little bit later today because my son was being a turd. And then Monday, I had family here, so I don't think I went. I did go live on Monday, but I had to like beg, borrow, and steal to kind of make that happen. So, but every Monday and every Friday, here comes soon. I'm going to start doing it 3 times a week. Also, I want you guys to start following me on Instagram and be on the lookout because I'm going to start dropping links because I'm going to start doing free classes. My first class that I have planned, delegation on NCLEX, who can do what, right? So delegation on NCLEX, who can do what? So roles and responsibilities of the RN, roles and responsibilities of the LPN, LVN, roles and responsibilities of the UAP or the unlicensed assistive personnel, right? Who can do what? Who has the responsibilities? If something happens, who do you report to? So on and so forth. That is a basis of NCLEX. And to keep it all the way real, right here under management of care, which is 17 to 23% of your entire NCLEX, delegation and supervision is a part of management of care. So why would I not teach you that? Right? As an RN, you gotta know what everybody does. You gotta teach. You gotta assess. You as the RN can do everything, but the LPN, although LPNs, if I got any LPNs in here, I need for y'all to realize this exam does not care about how long you've been an LPN. The exam does not care if you are IV certified. The exam does not care if you know how to do EKGs or read. They don't care about that. There is a specific role that the LPN follows according to the NCSBN, and that is what the exam is based off of. Okay? That's like throwing those what ifs in questions. Don't do that because you're going to get the question wrong. And I'm telling you, as somebody who is a hospital corpsman in the United States Navy, equivalent to an LVN, that they don't care. You have to think differently. Okay? Know who can do what. All right? So that class is coming up very, very soon. And be on the lookout on my Instagram. I'll even put it on TikTok too, and I'll put some music behind it so people can see it. So that way you guys know where the link is at, and you guys know where to go register for it. I'm gonna have a total. There's probably gonna be a total of 100 slots because that's all that I'm allotted. And make sure you guys when you guys sign up, make sure you guys are there because people show up here all the time, and I don't want them to get full, and I don't want you to miss them, right? And I'll probably start doing those like every Sunday. And depending on how well it's received, I can start doing them more often. If you want me to do them more often, you guys can just let me know. Or better yet, I'll start putting up polls like, hey, what class should I go over this time? Right? So think about that. But anyways, back to a schedule. Put yourself on a schedule. One thing I want you guys to do, especially for my repeat test takers, this goes for everybody, but my repeat test takers, is I want you to really, and I mean hour by hour, write down what you do in a day. So if you wake up at 6 and you have to be at work by 9, okay, from 6 to 8, what are you doing? From 6 to 8, what are you doing? Because at 9 o'clock, you're at work. You're in work mode. I don't like for people to study at work because at work, you can get work becomes a huge distraction. Because if you get distracted from work doing other things, and let's just say you get distracted for 5 hours doing something else, and now everything that you would have or thought that you retained earlier in the day is now gone because you're so focused on the work, right? So my recommendation to you is to not study at work, although tons of other people will study at work. And if you want to do that, that's okay. Of course, that is just my recommendation. It is not gospel. It is not gospel. All right. It is not doctrine. It's not written in, to somebody's constitution somewhere. It is just my personal opinion on what you can do to help yourself. But when you put yourself on a schedule, do it by hour. And then when you do it by hour, look at it and see where you have those free times to sit and study. And when sitting and studying, I mean sitting and studying consistently. Like not sitting here for 10 minutes and be like, oh, I can get 10 minutes of studying. You're going to rush. You're not going to be able to retain it. Like it won't feel like a good experience. Versus at the end of the day, let's just say you can only get 4 hours of studying. We'll say from 4 to 6, and then at 10 o'clock, from 6 to 10. Okay, you can get 4 hours of studying in. Like especially if you have kids, like me, I have kids, and at 8 o'clock or 7, I won't say at 8 o'clock, he gets laid down. So I know from like 8:30 to we'll say 11:30, I can get some, or from 8:30 to like midnight, I can get some good studying in because I already know that time is allotted for me. Versus like at the beginning of the day, not going to happen. At work, not going to happen. When I come home, not really going to happen because he's all over the place. So I have to figure out that time on what I can set aside for myself in order for me to get ample time to retain what I'm learning. Okay, so really hope that can actually help a couple of people in here, because I know a lot of people are saying like I don't have the time. No, you do have the time. You have the time. We all have the time. It's just that what are you filling your time with? And I can tell you another thing that people fill their time with is this damn phone. Like I appreciate y'all being here for doing I appreciate you guys being here. To get the gems that are being dropped, right? You're picking up what I'm putting down. But while you're studying, this phone don't need to be there. So here's one thing that the repeat test takers have that the new test takers don't, is that they already know what the testing center looks like. You already have an advantage. You already know what the testing center looks like. So why not prepare the same way that the testing center looks? Put yourself in a room. If you can, put yourself in a room. Put your phone away. Put your drinks away. Give yourself a blank sheet of paper with a pen. And then take your quizzes. 75 to 150. Take your quizzes. Okay? So think about that. Recreate the testing center. So put yourself on a schedule, recreate the testing center. After you recreate the testing center, what you should do is, after you recreate the testing center, you take your 75 to 150 questions, give yourself a break, 30 minutes to an hour, and then come back and then review your quiz. And I'm pretty sure people have said this to you over and over and over again, is go back and review the quizzes that you did, even if you got the questions right. Because you could get two questions that are relatively the same. You got one right, and then you got the other one wrong. Because a lot of these, and I'll use Archer as an example, they'll change one word in there, and the whole answer will be wrong. The whole thing. So, think about that. Create a calendar as well. Create a calendar. And on that calendar, you need, like, if you guys go to my YouTube channel and it says I pass NCLEX in 60 questions. This is when COVID was going on and they took away the 15 research questions. Go on there and you guys will see that I created a calendar for myself. I printed out a Google Calendar, and on that Google Calendar, I filled it out. First day I put it on there, I put study content. I didn't put the specifics. I put study content because I already knew in my head what I needed to study first, and it was pharmacology. It was pharm. And then after that, it was maternal newborn. And then after that, I kind of just went down the line. And I studied then. And so I would do content one day. I would do content in the morning, take a break, and then I would do 75 to 150 questions, take another break, and then I'd read and remediate, or read and review, or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, I would be done. And then the next day, I would rinse and repeat, or I would just study content. And then after content, that next day, I would do a 75 question quiz. And then rinse and repeat. You got to put yourself on a rhythm based off of the time that you allot for yourself. So if you can only give yourself 4 or 5 hours to study, utilize the time appropriately. If you can study all day, utilize it appropriately. And yes, there is such a thing to where you can overstudy. You have to take breaks, even during the week. Give yourself at least 1 day off during the week. 1 to 2 days off. If you take more than 2 days off consecutively, you start to lose what you were learning. Okay? So whatever you're learning, I don't care if you're starting to study questions or anything, you'll start to, on day 3, you're going to be like, man, like, stuff is kind of foggy. That's why you see people that are like, oh, I haven't studied for about 2 weeks and I'm about to jump back in. They'll be like, man, why is it so hard for me to retain? I already know this information. They was like, yeah, that's because for an entire week you weren't looking at that book. And on top of that, like a lot of things could have happened to you in between the week to where you were just like, I probably didn't pay attention. You know what I mean? Or it's like a lot of things happen to the, during the week is like, you forget, everything that you were trying to retain. Okay. So think about those things. Schedule, calendar, audit your time, recreate the testing center, and you won't go wrong. Okay. And then apply yourself. You really have to apply yourself. I can't take the exam for you. Even if I coach you, I can't take the exam with you. Right. So, but I can be there in spirit in your ear saying, hey, you better pick that answer. Hey, I better not be in that toilet. You see what I'm saying? I'll just say stupid stuff like that. But seriously, I won't be there with you during the test, but I'll be there in spirit. All right. And you got to realize is like, you gotta practice like you play. Another thing is, I know a lot of these reviews, they provide like NCLEX quizzes and stuff like that, but they're on paper. No NCLEX that you'll ever take will ever be on paper. It'll all be on the computer. So why not practice like you play? Okay. I've been out of school for a year now. I'm thinking about getting a tutor. Hey, you already know where to find me. Okay. So if you really do need a tutor, and I think yours is Bree, you're LPN, I believe, right? I think that's what you said. So if you need a tutor, hey, think about it. When I took my NCLEX and I finally passed it, I was almost 2 years out of school. Oh, all right. Okay. So I was almost 2 years out of school. I graduated August of 2018 and I didn't get my license until June of 2020. So almost 3 years that I've been a nurse. Almost 3 years. Right. So I didn't get a tutor. But however, I did have a mentor, and my mentor pointed me in the right direction when I thought that I could do it all by myself. And so one thing that I've been learning so much is like, if you really want to know something, like if you're really trying to achieve a goal, especially if it's a position that you want to be in, get a mentor, get somebody who's already there or who has been there that can guide you, not do it, but guide you. There to lean on and there to give you advice and there to point you in the direction to where the answer is. But you have to walk to go get it. So if you need tutoring, there it is. I can tell you right now, you can go to places like I throw no shade at people like this, but you can go to like varsitytutor.com or you can go to tutor.com and they'll charge you anywhere from 70 for NCLEX, $75 to $145 an hour. That's how much they'll charge you. I can't even tell you. I've had so many people come to me that they were just like, hey, I got a tutor. I spent $1,500 and I failed. And I was just like, okay, you failed. How? Right? Because it's just like, even though you got a tutor, the tutor is not taking the exam for you. What is happening? Like, what is going on? What is the distraction? What do you not know? I have coached people who literally said, I guess that's the problem. And I was like, no, there's no I guess. That is the problem. I don't coddle people. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to audit yourself. Like, what are you not doing? What are you complaining about? What can't you get fixed? What are you messing up on? Right? What are you not understanding? So, once again, anybody that's in here, if you need a tutor or if you have questions about anything, and if you want that 30-minute session, there it is, bootnurse.com. Get it while it's there. So, I really hope that answered your question. But yeah, if you need a tutor, go ahead. I would definitely start doing some research, and I would definitely start looking at reviews. Of course, I'll tell anybody to look at Kaplan, but then, they got Remar, they got Hearst. I like to tell people to go to all these places because mine's not out yet. Once I start telling you, once mine's coming out, I'm gonna tell y'all. Already know where I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all already know where we going. All right. So, if you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me. If you guys are just joining the live, my name is Kevin. I'm an NCLEX coach. We're talking about the new generation NCLEX. We're talking about repeat test takers. We're talking about test takers for this exam. We're talking about anything. We were talking about Selena Gomez. I know I keep saying that because I love me some Selena Gomez. But anyways, if you need coaching or anything like that for the NCLEX, if you're a repeat test taker, first-time test taker, nursing student about to take the exam, you can check me out at thebootnurse.com. I want to know where you guys are from. I know there's been a couple of people coming in and out, but I want to know where you guys are from, what you guys are doing, where you guys are at in your NCLEX journey, your nursing journey. Are you a brand new nurse? Are you a nursing student? Are you trying to get into nursing school? What y'all got going on for this weekend? You know, just trying to see what's going on, and how can I help y'all? I had a bunch of people ask me a ton of questions in here about nursing and about, you know, the test and, you know, like what would be a good route for them. It all really just depends. So whatever questions you guys have, drop them in there. Tracy Brown, you're a nursing student. Hey, shout out to you. What part of your nursing journey, or what semester are you in? Like, did you just start this semester? This is your first semester, so you probably are in like fundamentals and like health assessments or something like that. So shout out to you for being here. If you have any questions, I'm pretty sure that myself and any other nurse that's in here will not have a problem answering it. Hey, and I appreciate everybody for being here. And make sure you guys smash that like button. I want to see all those hearts coming up on the right side of this what is this thing called? This live. This TikTok live. I keep wanting to call it Instagram because I'm always on Instagram. So, but yeah. And we're just chilling right now. We're just chilling right here on this Friday. I got another birthday party to go to tomorrow for my nephew. He turned 1. So all these babies, all these people having babies and these babies having birthdays. That's just how it goes. What y'all doing? Follow the oh yeah, hey, make sure y'all go follow me on TikTok. I'm gonna start posting. I'm trying to post more videos, but man, like doing the teaching and the whole entrepreneurial journey and the whole like all this stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So there's another thing I want to recommend. There's a book that I want to recommend to everybody. All right. So if everybody can see this, there's this book right here. It's called The Nurses by Alexandra Robbins. So it talks about, it's a year of secrets, drama, and miracles with the heroes of the hospital. So it's specifically geared towards nurses. This book, I swear to you, is like Grey's Anatomy. And I don't even like Grey's Anatomy, but it's all from the perspective of a nurse. Like there's some drama that's in here where there was a doctor. There was they talk about, look at that. It says when nurses bully nurses, hierarchies, hazing, and why they eat their young. Right there. I don't know if y'all can see it. Hold on, let me back it up. Right there. Why they eat their young. Right? And I remember when I had this issue with a nurse who had been a nurse. She was like a nurse for like 35 years. I flat out told her to her face. I was like, hey, don't talk to me like that. I don't know what I'm doing, so please guide me. Because this is the first time I've been exposed to this. And she kind of like nipped herself. She kind of just like fixed herself. Like, she kind of just fixed herself at that point. So, that's the one thing I'll say. The one book that I'll recommend to all nurses or nursing students or anybody is The Nurses. Like, I got it on Audible, but this book was given to me as a gift from one of my mentors. And she wrote in it. And if you guys go look at my video, her name is Anissa. When I passed my NCLEX, and she wrote this in the book, essentially telling me that, you know, it gives you a really good perspective on how to advocate for your patient. Because on the last story that's in this book, it's a really good patient advocacy where they talk about it. But they talk about everything: racism in nursing, nurses becoming addicted to drugs and getting reported to the board of nursing. Another nurse who wanted to have a baby but couldn't. Some nurse that was sleeping with a doctor and he got another girl pregnant on the floor, but he was dating like 4 nurses in the whole hospital. And I'm just like, bro, that's wild. That is wild. And bold. My man's. I was like, wow. He's like a neurologist or something like that. It was crazy. But there was a really good story in there on patient advocacy, and I would recommend that everybody read it. It's called The Nurses by Alexandra Robin. Like I said, I got it on Audible because I don't never have the time to sit and read this. So the one time I did have the time to sit and read it was when I was on the airplane going somewhere. So I was on the airplane for like 2 or 3 hours, and I was like, I guess I'll just listen to this. I thought I was going to fall asleep. Nah, there's too much drama in there. And I was like, what the hell? So, there's that. There's that. All right. So I got 12 people up in here. What y'all doing this weekend? What we doing? I say we. Well, you already know what I'm doing. So going out here and taking care of these babies and seeing what they got going on. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and all that other good stuff, because that's where I'm going to start posting, like polls. There is a way to post a poll in the TikTok live. I just don't know exactly how to do it. I'm still kind of just messing around with it. But I love doing these. I love talking to you guys. Hell, at some point, I actually want to start doing classes over here as well. So I want to do the classes on the webinars, as well as I want to do the classes in the TikTok live. So for those people that didn't jump up onto them, I think that it would be a really good way to capture people and to just let them know that I'm here and, to help out everybody. So like I said, I thoroughly enjoy doing these. But I keep hearing people say that the NCLEX is 85 questions, which is wild to me because it's not 85, it's 75. So I was just looking on the NCSBN website the other day and didn't say anything about 85 questions. So I want to know where you guys are seeing that. Y'all let me know where y'all are seeing that, because now your boy is curious. I'm very, very curious. We're about to see what's going on. Hey, if you guys are just joining me, my name is Kevin. I'm an RN, NCLEX coach, talking about the new generation NCLEX. Right now, we're about to see how many questions are on the NCLEX, because I've had so many people jump in here to tell me that it's 85 questions, not 75. So for the RN exam, it's always been 75 questions. Unless you're taking the LPN exam, it's 85 questions. But I was just on this website not too long ago, and it said it was 75 questions. So what I'm about to do is trust but verify and see on the actual website how many questions there are. How many questions are on the NCLEX RN? NCLEX RN. All right. Let's see. So it says the percentage of test. I'm kind of going to read through this and skim through it. The percentage of test questions assigned to each category and subcategory of the NCLEX is based on the results of findings from the 2021 RN practice analysis. So essentially, it comes from everything that was happening in 2021, those research questions. And it says, in addition to the client need categories and subcategories listed below, clinical judgment processes are measured by 18 case study items. So there's going to be at least 18 case studies on the NCLEX. So there's that. There's going to be at least 18 questions regarding the NCLEX. Because everybody always asking how many questions do I get? And I was like, first of all, if you don't know, your NCLEX is adaptive. It's an adaptive test. So if everybody starts above passing, your very first question is an above passing question. Now, after that, the test is going to start determining, hey, well, you got that question wrong. Let me give you an easier question. But the easier the questions are, the lower you are, or the lower you go under the passing level. Okay. So this right here is going through, essentially like the categories that are on the NCLEX. So we already discussed those, like farm and reduction in risk, potential risks, physiological adaptation, so on and so forth. So they're talking about COVID right here, reviewing your answers, computer adaptive test. So everybody knows, like I said, it's a computer adaptive test. Not everybody's test will be the same. As a matter of fact, everybody's test will be different. Like they pick from, oh Lord, I don't even know. Oh, here we go. So everybody's test will be different, right? So since everybody's test will be different, like no test will be the same. Now right here, examination length. You guys were right. You guys were correct. All registered nurse candidates must answer a minimum of 85 questions. 85 test items. The maximum number of items for an RN exam are 150. So for everybody that told me that I was wrong, thank you. Because I was looking on something else on this website and it said 75. But I think I was probably looking at their frequently asked questions and it probably wasn't updated, which is fine. It's no big issue. So 85 to 150 questions. But the way that the 85 questions are answered, it's based off of those case studies. Right? And I'm going to read this too, because I think this is probably the most important. It says the maximum number of items for an RN candidate may answer 150 during the allotted 5 hours. One of the minimum length examinations, 52 of the items, will come from 8 content areas listed above. So we were talking about physiological adaptation, and we were also, like management of care. The 8 sections of the NCLEX pie. 18 of the items will comprise 3 clinical judgment case studies. So 18 of the items. So you're going to get at least 18 questions are going to come from out of like 3 case studies, if that makes sense. Case studies are item sets composed of 6 items that measure each of the 6 domains of clinical judgment measurement. So recognizing cues, analyzing cues, prioritizing hypothesis, generating solutions, taking action, and evaluating the outcome. So I need to know, if I give you everything that you need to know for this patient, what is the next step that you need to take? Do you know the next step to take based off of this? Oh, okay, cool. Well, I have their labs and, their pH is 7.36. But then, I check it an hour later and now it's 7.32. Okay, so now I know my patient is going into some type of acidosis. Are they going into metabolic or respiratory? Well, let's look at everything else that's going on. What does his Pt.2 look like? What does his CO2 look like? Oh, okay, so his CO2 is too high. So now he's still, he's acidotic. Okay, so he's having a respiratory issue. So at this point, what do I want to do? Do I want to give him O2, lift up the head of the bed? Like these are just, and I use those examples all the time, but that's essentially what they want to know. Like I gave you all these things. Use your clinical judgment to provide a safe outcome for this patient, right? So that's what it is. That's why the case studies are there. And me personally, I like the case studies. Like I said, hindsight is 20/20. So the length of the examination is determined by every response, right? So like I said, it's a computer adaptive test, and every exam is based off of you, or every question is based off of you and what you answer. All right. So, but like there, clear as day, it says all RN candidates must answer a minimum of 85 questions. 85 questions. But then when you get a case study, you could get, like I said, anywhere from like 3 to 5 questions per case study. Right? So it could look like you got 75, but at a minimum, you're going to get 85. So what does that tell you? A minimum amount of questions that you need to take is 85 questions. 85. That is the minimum amount. It is recommended that a candidate spend approximately 1 to 2 minutes per item in order to maintain a pace. So when you're taking your exam, you don't want to, I always tell people 60 to 90 seconds, but you never want to go anywhere over 2 minutes per question. Because the longer you stay on a question, the longer, like let's say the longer that you stay on a question and you have to go all the way to 150, the less time that you're going to have. Although you can run out of time and still pass. but you don't want to run out of time. You don't want to do that. You want to be at a steady pace, right? All right, let's see. They were talking about how COVID reevaluated the passing standard in 2022. The passing standard now has not changed. It's back to the normal thing. Okay. We're computer adaptive, reviewing and guessing. They have, stuff like that. Pre-test items, passing and failing. Talks about the 95 confidence interval rule, the maximum length exam, running out of time. Says it right there. You can run out of time and you can still pass. Talks about the scoring. If anything that you ever need to know in regards to the NCLEX, it is at the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, the NCSBN.org website. That is doctrine. Those are the people that write the NCLEX exam. If you guys do know, Mark Klimick, he actually used to be an NCLEX RN test writer back in the day, like back in the early 2000s. But they said that he can't do a review and write test taking. He can't write questions and then have a review. That's unethical, right? Because he's going to go and write, during the day, he's going to go and write NCLEX style questions and then come teach you about the questions that he wrote. That's unethical. Although not so bad. It's kind of like the cheat code, right? Speaking of that, don't pay attention and don't listen to people that are out here trying to scam you, saying like, hey, I can give you all the answers and leaked questions and all this other stuff on the NCLEX. Number one, look at the example of hashtag, not a real nurse. All these people that got scammed and now, or they tried to scam the system and now it's coming back to bite them because they all have fake licenses, right? So there's no shortcut to becoming a nurse. And to think about it like this, if you've been a nurse and you're in nursing school and you went to nursing school for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then you meet somebody who just paid money to get an RN license, your thought process about that person is going to be like, first of all, how'd you get here? Second of all, you're unsafe as hell. And 3, I don't even want to, if you don't have the integrity to go through the hardship that I went through, I would never want to work with you. And I'm just keeping it all the way real. So, but yeah, NCLEX, 85 to 150 questions. 85 to 150 questions. 85 to 150 questions. All right. So I'm going to get off here in the next 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about anything, I know I only got 7 people up in here. So if you guys have any questions about anything, you guys let me know. We can answer them real quick. And if not, I'll just hang out and we'll just see what's going on. I think my son's already in bed because I kind of hear his little jingle music going on in there. It's not a mobile or whatever you call it. It's like one of those little music boxes. And, he's quiet. I heard him get a bath. He's good. So he's good out here. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today, a wonderful Friday. Life is too short. Make sure you guys are out there, doing what you guys love to do. And here's another thing. Nursing may not be for you. I want you guys to always remember that. Nursing may not be for you. Hell, there are people that have become nurses that I know that are nurses right now that have been nurses for 4, 5, 6 years. And they're just like, bro, I'm already done. You are the CEO of your license. You are the chief executive officer of that license. You can do so many things with an RN license. It is unreal. It is unreal. Do you hear me? You can do so many things with an RN license. Right now, it is unreal. You got nurses that are opening up their own fluid therapy, IV therapy businesses, aesthetic businesses, nurses that are selling merchandise, selling their notes. Somebody like me who likes to be I'm a content creator. So I have a YouTube channel. Of course, I have TikTok, coaching, consulting. There's so many things that we can do out here as nurses to help out one another. Period. Okay. Nursing school is harder than actual nursing, but I would never pay for a nursing degree. Exactly. It's just nursing school is hard because they make it hard. They do it to weed you out. And then once you get into nursing, once you get into a routine, a lot of that stuff you're not even going to be doing anymore, especially it may not even apply to you depending on where you work at. But I can tell you right now, I would never pay for a nursing degree. I would never pay for a nursing degree or a license. Because why would you want to perpetrate like being inside, like why would you want to perpetrate being part of a group that, you don't have the full out right to be, like you can't just pay your way and become an honorary nurse. That's just not how it works. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work to get there. So, that's just, that's my thought process on that. On like, I swear one of the nurses that I worked with, or that I didn't work with, but we got report from when I was a nursing student. I swear I think he was a fake nurse. Because instead of putting HIV inside of his chart, he put H4, like H and then the number 4. And I was like, what the hell is H4? And then we had to call him and he was like, yeah, H, and like the Roman numeral 4. And I was just like, H and Roman, and I had to write it out. And I was like, HIV? And he was just like, yeah. And I was just like, what the hell, bro? Like, why didn't you just put HIV? He was like, oh, it was just faster to write that. And I was just like, why would you put H4 in somebody's medical record that is a legal document? So, pretty sure that dude, fake nurse. Pretty sure he's fake nurse. So yeah, don't be out here trying to take shortcuts. Don't be out here trying to take shortcuts. Because I can tell you right now that if you were ever one of those nurses that took a shortcut and then you try to come work with me, you ain't gonna work with me. Because there's a nurse that's out there, I think she did it like back in 2018. She's been working for like almost 5 years. And the hospital found out that she was one of those nurses who bought her license or whatever. So then I think they put her like she got like 4 years of jail time and she had to pay back wages, which was like $700,000. So she must have been traveling, because I can tell you right now that 4 years of wages for a staff nurse ain't that high, depending on where you work, but it ain't that high. It ain't no $700K, let me tell you that. Unless they added like damages and all this other trash on there. So, but anyways, for all the 11 of you that are in here, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out, ask questions. Hopefully I answer them to the best of my abilities. I'm going to say this one more time. My name is Kevin. I'm a nurse. I'm an NCLEX coach. Content creator, military guy. We were talking about the new generation NCLEX and everything that it entails. If you guys need coaching or know anybody that does need coaching for the NCLEX, such as if you've taken the exam multiple times, if you've taken it for the first time, or if you're a nursing student about to take it, or graduate and then take it, or if you're a nursing student and you're just curious, check out thebootnurse.com. I do a 30-minute consultation. You better get it while it's free because it's going away. And, I do coaching over there. I love teaching. I've been teaching for 8 years. Another reason why I'm going to get my master's in nurse education, because we legitimately are the future of our own career, just like how our children are the future for humanity. And make sure you guys go follow me on all those social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, of course, Twitter, Facebook. Go follow me on all those places. I'm super active on Instagram. So if nobody has any other questions for me, I hope everybody has a wonderful and a safe weekend. And I will catch you guys on Monday, 7 p.m. All right. Check you later. Have a good night. If I could get off